The 10th floor. Chapter 1. The Alarm That Never Sleeps. The alarm clock blared for the third time, vibrating the nightstand and knocking over a half-empty bottle of paracetamol. Maya groaned, pulling her blanket tighter. The fluorescent light from her laptop screen was still glowing, displaying an unfinished blueprint. Coffee rings dotted her sketchpad like ink blots of insomnia. Her phone buzzed, 2 messages from her colleague Aisha. Presentation at 9 a.m. sharp. Don't be late. Mr. Oberoi has been unusually quiet. Be ready for tough questions. Maya dragged herself out of bed. Her studio apartment, barely 250 square feet, looked like a battlefield, books, clothes, noodle cups, and stress scattered everywhere. She tied her hair in a loose bun and looked into the mirror. Her eyes were sunken, skin pale. She sighed. Just one more hurdle, she whispered to herself. Chapter 2. Concrete Jungle. Mumbai had no concept of mercy in the mornings. The streets were already alive with honking cars, the distant chant of temple bells, and the sizzle of oil in roadside Vada Pav stalls. Maya hopped onto an auto-rickshaw, clutching her laptop bag like it contained her entire future, which, to some extent, it did. As the auto lurched forward, she mentally rehearsed her pitch. Eco-conscious, modular, cost-effective. Her thoughts were interrupted when they hit a traffic jam near Dadar. She looked at her watch, 8:27 a.m. Her stomach twisted. Bia, jaldi chali na, she pleaded. The driver nodded but didn't look optimistic. The remaining journey was a blur of prayers, bumper-to-bumper honks, and red lights that seemed to last forever. Finally, the Trident Tower came into view, tall, sleek, intimidating. The place where dreams were either launched or quietly buried. Chapter 3. The Climb. She rushed through the sliding glass doors. Inside, the lobby was a different world, air-conditioned, quiet, and filled with people in press suits. Maya, in her wrinkled kurta and dust-covered flats, felt like an imposter. The receptionist gave her a professional smile. Good morning. Unfortunately, the lift is down. Technical issue. You'll need to use the stairs. Maya blinked. To the 10th floor? The woman gave a sympathetic nod. With no time to argue, Maya made her way to the staircase. It smelled faintly of paint and sweat. First floor. Easy. By the 3rd, her thighs were burning. By the 5th, she was panting. On the 7th, she passed a young man in a formal suit also climbing up. He looked equally exhausted. You too? She asked between breaths. He gave a tired grin. Yep. We should get a medal. She smiled. Sometimes, shared pain builds instant camaraderie. By the 10th floor, she was drenched in sweat, hair disheveled. She burst into the conference room at exactly 8:58 a.m. Chapter 4. The Spotlight. The room was filled with glass panels, leather chairs, and the scent of brewed coffee. Her teammates sat on one side, facing a panel of executives, including the stoic Mr. Oberoi, a man known for demolishing dreams with 3-word critiques. Maya connected her laptop and took a deep breath. Then she began. She walked them through her vision of low-cost housing adapted for flood-prone areas, floating foundations, rainwater harvesting systems, walls made from compressed earth blocks, solar-integrated roofs. Each slide told a story. She showed photos from her childhood neighborhood, streets submerged, homes destroyed. She explained how her design could reduce flood impact by 70%. When she finished, the room was silent. Mr. Oberoi leaned forward. Tell me, Maya, why should we pick this over the more polished design submitted by Team D? Theirs is sleeker. Yours is, well, honest but rough. Maya swallowed. Because it's real. Because I didn't make this to win an award, I made it for people like my mother. I didn't grow up in a penthouse. I grew up on the ground floor where water came in faster than you could sweep it out. This isn't just a structure, it's a lifeline. There was a long pause. Then Mr. Obara said, "Thank you?" Just that. No praise. No criticism. She left the room not knowing whether she had succeeded or failed. Chapter 5: The Wait. The next few days were agonizing. Maya couldn't sleep. Every time her phone buzzed, her heart raced. Aisha tried to console her. "You did great. Don't overthink it." But Maya always overthought. Meanwhile, bills piled up. Her landlord reminded her rent was due. Her laptop charger frayed. Her old phone died. She borrowed a second-hand one from a friend. By Thursday evening, she had given up hoping. She sat alone in a tea stall, watching trains pass in the distance. Rain began to fall, of course. Monsoon doesn't need an invitation here. Her phone buzzed. A message from Mr. Obara. "You're on the shortlist. Come prepared with a prototype next Monday. You've got potential, Maya. Don't waste it." She reread the message 10 times. Tears blurred her vision, but this time, they were warm. Chapter 6: The Prototype. The weekend was a blur of motion: foam board, wire mesh, recycled plastic, all crafted into a miniature housing model. She didn't sleep. She barely ate. But every detail she added felt like redemption. When she returned Monday, prototype in hand, she wasn't the same girl who had stumbled up 10 floors days ago. She stood taller. She smiled more. She knew she had something worth fighting for. Final scene, full circle. 2 months later, the housing project was approved by the municipal board. Maya was appointed as one of the youngest lead architects in the firm's history. That evening, she visited her old neighborhood. The monsoon had started again. Children splashed in puddles. Tarpaulin roofs fluttered. And Maya stood in the middle of the chaos, feeling both old and new. A child ran up to her, holding a paper boat. "Didi, want to race boats?" She smiled, crouched down, and said, "Next year, let's race them on your new balcony." Moral: purpose drives impact. When we channel our pain, history, and truth into our work, we create not only solutions but stories that connect, that matter. Maya's journey wasn't just about architectural brilliance. It was about not forgetting where she came from, and using that as fuel to build something better, for someone else. Here's a breakdown of different vocabulary and expressions used in The 10th Floor story, with detailed explanations. 1. Blaring, a loud, harsh sound. The alarm clock blared. Often used for loud sirens or alarms. 2. Half-empty bottle of paracetamol, suggests exhaustion or illness. Paracetamol is a common pain reliever. 3. Blueprint, a detailed architectural or technical plan. Used metaphorically and literally in the story. 4. Coffee rings, circular stains from mugs, symbolizes overwork or neglect. 5. Ink blots of insomnia, metaphorical phrase showing sleeplessness, poetic imagery. 6. Fixated on, completely focused or obsessed with something. 7. Impending, about to happen, usually something negative. 8. No concept of mercy, idiomatic way to show harshness or intensity. Describing Mumbai's rush hour, clutching her laptop bag like it contained her entire future, simile to show anxiety and importance. Mentally rehearse her pitch, preparing to present or speak, common in work life. Bumper to bumper, used to describe heavy traffic. Sliding glass doors, literal but also symbolically entering a new world, corporate life. Dreams were either launched or quietly buried, metaphors showing how a corporate setting can make or break a person's ambitions. Air-conditioned, quiet, and filled with people in press suits, a contrast to the chaos outside, suggests formality. Lift is down, elevator not working, adds a layer of obstacle. Sympathetic nod, nonverbal expression of empathy. Her thighs were burning, used to describe physical fatigue. Shared pain builds instant camaraderie, expression meaning people bond through common struggle. Hair disheveled, messy or untidy hair, indicates stress or rush. Glass panels, leather chairs, scent of brewed coffee, vivid sensory imagery of corporate space. Stoic, emotionally reserved or unreadable. The stoic Mr. Oberoi. Demolishing dreams with three-word critiques, metaphors showing how sharp and concise his criticism can be. Took a deep breath, classic pre-performance ritual. Each slide told a story, metaphor for a presentation that was engaging and purposeful. Not just a structure, it's a lifeline, powerful metaphor tying architecture to survival. Beat of silence, a small pause that's heavy with tension. Agonizing, causing great pain or stress. The next few days were agonizing. Raced, heart, to beat quickly, often due to anxiety. Given up hoping, an expression of disappointment, or emotional surrender. Of course, monsoon doesn't need an invitation. Humorous and sarcastic tone, personifying rain. Blurred vision, literal, tears, but emotionally meaningful. Warm tears, implies relief or joy as opposed to sadness. A blur of motion, fast, chaotic activity. Redemption, regaining respect or proving worth again. She wasn't the same girl, symbolic of growth and transformation. Stood taller, can mean both physically and metaphorically confident.